Hi everybody, it's Bridget Parvin and Doug Parvin here for Sobriety and Serenity on Facebook Live. So we're so excited to be here with you today. And I just want to cover something really important and was guided to make sure to let you all know that with it says sobriety, it's like that peacefulness and serenity that comes from being and practicing the lifestyle of wellness and also of checking out what things are in our lives of distractions and addictions that no longer serve us. So that can be under the whole blanket and umbrella of so many things, vast things such as shopping, food addiction, drinking, people pleasing, approval seeking, gambling, sex, computer addiction, just on and on. If you're living on this planet, here's our cat Raziel. If you're living on this planet, more than likely there's an addiction to something. It's just the way it is. It's just the way our planet is right now. And so Doug and I decided to do Facebook Live and answer any questions, do some readings, and just be here in community of support of anybody who needs that extra support in being a tribe, being connected. Because when we're suffering from addictions, what we're really looking for is that connectedness. And so that is basically with a creator of our own understanding, with our divine team, going within that connection with our higher self and with God and our angels. And so whatever it is that you're looking for, know that we're developing this community here so you're not alone. That was one of the biggest things for me was love addiction, alcoholism, drug addiction.
Approval seeking.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much, and that's like alcohol. The alcohol addiction or disease was huge for me because it was having all those other things and then needing something to cope with those maladies or those things I felt I was lacking, and alcohol was a tool that I used to like mask the other things in order to fit in.
Absolutely.
More so, because I felt different than others and other people, and it was one of those things. Felt awkward. It's like I didn't feel like I fit in, and because I felt like I was lacking, and it's like that joke in Al-Anon. It talks how am I doing today? Which I mean we say it jokingly now, but it was very serious. It's like and being intuitive, we were trying to read and see being in these. Some of us grew up in environments that weren't all that supportive, and your intuition and everything has to be up. It's heightened because you need to know. You need to read the people. You need to know what's going on in the situation, because it's more so security.
Absolutely. I remember when I was growing up, I felt like I didn't belong. I would do anything. Even in school, I was giving my own toys away, saying that my dad worked for Mattel, and I would take orders for dolls, and I'm giving away my flatsies and Kittles. Yes, I'm aging myself on that one. But I had this deep hole in my soul that nothing can fill, and so in that, there's aspects of it where on that journey I took that, and so when I found alcohol, it was like it filled in that soul, but it was false. It was false, and I want to make sure that there's nothing absolutely wrong with doing things in moderation and all of that. What I'm talking about is my own experience of where it took me. Normal people. What they say, there's a saying with that, normal people could afford to to do that and have fun and be jolly and have celebration and stuff. But I'm the one who would...
I've also heard normal is just a setting on the washing machine.
That's funny. I'm the one who was original, the wedding crasher before the movie even ever came out. Yes, believe it or not. So actually...
She's got a book coming out about all this too, how to get your life back. So it's like, I love it because people are like, oh, little Bridget, what could she have done? And it's like, oh my goodness, you wait.
Yeah, so I'm not kidding. So, but in addition to that, it's whatever we're consuming or purchasing or ingesting to fill in that soul hole. And so just taking a look at that, you know, when it's swung to the opposite end and creating havoc and problems in the life, then there's something you might want to take a look at. So today is January 12th, 2017. And in that, it's my grandma's birthday also. She's 91. I love that woman. Awesome. Happy birthday, Grandma. She won't be watching this because of modern technology. It's kind of a little not in her realm, but just happy birthday, Grandma. And that's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
And in that, just knowing that we're here to do readings, answer any questions, and kind of carry on. Our topic this week is acceptance. So if you have things in your life going on right now, it's for January 12th, 2017. I want to take that, and a lot of people, we have a yoga studio, so I don't really do New Year's resolutions. You know, those are kind of like a setup for failure, possibly. I do intentions, goals, manifestations, holding the light of that. So what we're being asked to do right now, especially with this full moon, is look and see and do a review as an observer in your life and with your higher self, and what's going on that's no longer serving you. You know, what kind of puts the ick in your aura? What puts the ick on your skin? What doesn't feel that good anymore? And when you come up with your first answers to that, just don't judge it. Just either accept it, change it, or eliminate it out of your life. So we could either, acceptance comes with those types of things. And in that, knowing that you feel empowered by doing that. So it's not like this victim thing, which I used to always think that when something came down the pipe in my life that, that this thing was happening, life is in session, and I was a victim to it. And I've learned, there's some things that I could do about this. I could accept it, change it, or eliminate it. And knowing that really makes a big difference for a course of action in that. And Doug, what would you like to share on that?
Yeah, it's like, again, with the acceptance and the alcoholism for me, I did other drugs, it's like I wasn't picky, but the alcohol was my primary, and that it was the one that, was always the go-to, but because I didn't know that there was these things that, accept, change, and eliminate. It's like something's going on, and I would get, they say in the program, resentment is the number one offender, and it's like I used anger, actually, was one of my tools, and I would use anger to keep everybody at a distance. And what it really was I was just scared of people. I was scared of intimacy. I was scared of, and into me you see. I didn't want to, I had these masks and all this stuff. And alcohol afforded me the luxury of being able to keep that up because, once we, shed that away, it's like we can start to become the person that we are, and it's like I love when people say, oh, that's just who I am. And it's like, actually, really, when you get down to it, you're this pure spark of divine love.
Yes.
And the vulnerability is what I was afraid of. I wanted, the tough guy thing and the construction worker and all that stuff. And realistically, construction is great, and it's creativity, but it had this
macho.
Macho. They used to have, that's and alcohol, allowed me to present that persona. It's like once I removed that from me, here I am, this not so tough guy, and I'm left with myself and being vulnerable. It's like, now what? People hurt me, it's like I take things personally, and it's like, well, they are not meaning to do that. I just need a way to filter that and be okay with, people just being people, and so that acceptance, accepting people who and how and what they are in that given moment, and thankfully people accept me for who I am in this anytime given moment, it works both ways, and the accept, and sometimes if it's not, just that simple, okay, if something's going on, maybe I need to just change the way I'm thinking about it. Accept it. If I have struggle with accepting it, just change the way I think about it. It's like, somebody that's like, the driving was a real big one. And it's like that person who, you're driving and all of a sudden this person is right behind you, and, you think and you get the, resentment or whatever, whatever, it's traffic. And so, you use the tools to process and change behavior. It's making those amends, just changing your behavior, and not, just learning how to change the behavior to amend the path that you're on, to get on the straight path, the light.
Yes. And how do you do that when you're in the traffic? You let them come in now.
Well, yeah, you move over, but it was a process.
Yes.
I remember one of the first times I just come from a meeting. I was Mr. Spiritual, and I'm driving home in bliss, and all of a sudden we're on this Highway 49. It's just 2 lanes, and I'm driving home, and it was at night, and all of a sudden I see headlights behind me, and all of a sudden they just come up really fast. My heart starts pounding, and my old behavior was, if somebody does that, my first reaction is to slam on the brakes. And it's like, okay, I'm trying to do things differently, It's like, okay, so I'm not slamming on the brakes, right? So I'm in this process. I mean, they don't even know what's going on. This is just an opportunity for spiritual growth. And I love it when your sponsor, your mentor, says that. And so instead of slamming on the brake, I just stepped on the gas and sped up. And so I'm driving, all again back to Mr. Spiritual, and I'm patting myself on the back, you did such a good job, and blah, blah, blah. And then I hear this still quiet voice. And it said, someday, Doug, you'll just pull over and let them pass. Mm-hmm. So I've always got room for improvement, but it's taking those actions into that direction. So changing the way you think about it. And it's like people coming up on you really hurry, you hear it, it's like, well, maybe they're on their way to the hospital. Maybe they're something's going on in their life that is very important. So, if that's the case, then just move out of their way and let them proceed where they need to go. So I change the way I think about it, or eliminate it. It's like I could not even drive on the road at those certain times, or however you want to do it. So it's given tools to get into that acceptance, so I don't have to get into that resentment. Because before it was like, I used to do horrible things when people would fly up on me, motorcycles trying to pass me in traffic, just all kinds of things. And I made amends for those things, I don't lifelong amends, is I don't do those things anymore.
What I love also is when that still small voice was in there. That was the voice of the divine. So your angels were actually, guiding you. Pull over, and so that's the difference between self-will run riot, and the divine's will, which is of your own understanding with your creator, your higher power, your higher self, your angels, spirit guides, and just tuning into that and honoring that intuitiveness that's inside. That's where we will intuitively know how to handle situations that used to baffle us. So it's kind of like, okay, if I'm not doing this any longer, and know that that's not in the best interest and the highest good, how do I swing over to this side and bring more light in it? And so that's by practicing the path of light. Those other behaviors start to dissipate. And I remember one time when I had been practicing a behavior that was integrated in me, and I just knew it felt icky, and I just knew I could not afford to do it anymore. And so I started practicing the opposite, which was in the light and bringing God and the angels in it. And then one day I just had an off day, and I reacted instead of responding to something. And I remember calling my mentor, Polly, and she just said, well, Bridget, she said, thank God you knew something was wrong, because you used to go all your life not knowing that was wrong and behaving in that manner. And today you got to see it and it didn't feel good. And so she says, how are you going to make this right? And I said, by a lifelong amends where I will no longer use that behavior. And so, no, when that pops up, when that creeps up, it's that we have a choice with that acceptance. Accept, change, or eliminate. But how do you get there when it's ingrained in this behavior in that moment? And so the tools of practicing it, progress, not perfection, and it is responding versus reacting. Reacting is the old ways of what are fear-based, anger-based, etc., etc. Responding are pause, connection with our higher power, with our God source, with the universe, with our angels, with whatever your path, Great Spirit. One of the things is, I love it because in heaven there are no egos. So no matter what you use to tap in, all is good. And it's just always remember that higher self in those moments. And so it's about 11:16 right now, and we have a lot of questions on here. So
I just want to touch base on that too. It's like in talking about how to get into those acceptance. You know, first you have the awareness that you don't like that behavior, like you said, it feels icky.
Right.
You know, it's like, and first you have the awareness of it, and it's like you're making progress. Give yourself credit for even wanting to. You know, this isn't working for me anymore. What do I do? You know, God help me. You know, prayer. I can't say I'm not about prayer. But I would use gimmicks because, as you see, I talk with my hands out here. And so one of the things I do, you know, I still wear, you know, I'm wearing grounding stuff today because I need to sometimes. And I would wear a wristband on the job sites. I would wear, you know, the WWJD, you know, what would Jesus do? Because they're out here in my hands, and if I start to get out here and I see my hands flailing in front of me because the guy's not doing what I want them or they're not doing exactly, you know, it's like I can see this, I tether, I remind myself God is in charge, I'm not in charge. I'm just here to be of service. And so whatever it takes, you know, oils,
yes,
you know, anything to get you, bring you back into self instead of being external.
Oh, I know for me, oils or bracelets or whatever, when it was Basic 101 and ink pen writing it on my hand that was the original Palm Pilot for me, just as a reminder. Note to self, Bridget, you're not going to lose this piece of paper. And
she would always write these things. Pearls. I mean, there are
pearls of wisdom, but
that's not happening today.
It was better than a self-note sticky right here.
So yeah, have fun. And here's the thing: have fun with yourself. Have fun with that. You know, it's like you're on this adventure of reconnecting, like we said earlier, to that divine spark within. You know who you are, that vulnerability, and it's like sometimes, you know, it's like if somebody needs to, you know, I still to this day I'll get on my knees every morning and I offer myself to my Creator, and you know, to be of service, and so. Sometimes I may misbehave, and I'll feel bad about it, but it's like, well, wait a minute, I turn my will and my life over to my Creator in the morning, and if I had one of my character defects pop up, you know, who's to say that wasn't divinely inspired, that, you know, it gives me an opportunity to reconnect and redo, and it could be an opportunity for somebody else to, you know, be a part of that. So it's like, you know, be gentle with each other, and taking care of yourself. Self-care right now especially is really important.
Oh yes, there's a good thing on here. Clancy put, it seems like the full moon brings out the crazies. I love that. You know, it's so true. One of the things, one of my dear friends, Steve Clemente, he's an awesome friend. He's my inked angel, I call him. But he said, lunar, lunacy, that means for a full moon. So things do, you know, emergency, the hospitals, sheriff's departments, everything are the busiest because it brings out all of the stuff in that. So, and so what I've learned to do is take it for an opportunity to do a review and see what's no longer serving me, and do a little type of thing of releasing, and it doesn't have to be really formal, but just kind of do a periodic, it's almost like an inventory. What do I want to bring more in? What do I need to allow myself to let go of that's no longer serving? So it can be a beautiful thing. And yes, I kind of do like to stay indoors a little more when the full moon's coming up. And do you want to answer some of these questions?
And it's also, giving yourself credit, because sometimes I know it's like when in the process, it's like sometimes I'm my worst critic, and it's like, be gentle with yourself. It's like,
yes.
It's like you're trying to work on changing a behavior or something, and it's like, oh, I did it again. It's like, well, think of it as a spiral staircase. You're staircase.
It can be.
So you're on this spiral staircase, and you're aware of the situation, and you pick up some tools, and you try them out and see what fits, and it's like, oh, I did it again. It's like, well, no, actually, you didn't do it again, because you're you're processing, and
yes.
you're working forward. You're still forward movement. As long as especially in addictions and alcoholism, as long as you're not picking up and going back down, and even that can be, Fortunately for me, when I came to the programs, into the room, I was fortunate enough to stay. And Bridget was the same way. We didn't have to go back out there. We had done enough, basically, damage to have that surrender, to that concede to our innermost self that I need help, and I can't do this alone. So that's kind of what we're doing here. It's like,
right.
To support one another, love one another. That's they say in the rooms too. I love, let us love you until you can love yourself. It's people who are on the path that have been through a process to work on self. So.
Yes, and I never knew any difference.
I didn't.
I didn't until I just couldn't do it anymore.
Till the bitter end.
Yes.
This is the way it is, and it's like it's not true. It was that's the great thing about, again, inventory process. Finding out the principles that you're living your life by, and finding out a lot of those were put together in survival, and they're just not true.
Yes. So be gentle with yourself. It's a gentle healing process,
yes,
a very loving, gentle healing process. And do yourself a favor and put that butt-kicking machine away.
Yes.
If you do start to feel in that, I should have done better, I should have known better, shouldn't even be in the vocabulary.
Don't shit on yourself.
Cancel, clear, delete. Get rid of that word. And so it's that gentle healing process. So I would like to say hello to our friends that are here, our old friends and new friends, and Amanda from Alabama. Can't wait to see you in Hotlanta this coming spring. And Trish and Vanessa and Lashish, Clancy and Christy, hello, Michelle, hello, and Lisa, and you're in class, and Trish, love you guys, thanks for joining us. And I would like to see, I'm trying to rewind this and see if anybody has any questions that they would like or any cards pulled. We'll start opening it up for that. Oh, and from Bosnia. Hello, Jelena. Oh, and Clancy.
From Canada.
Canada.
My last boss was Canadian, and I picked up, I say periodically, and serviettes. So, whatever that means.
So in this, we're learning how to navigate through this, so this is really interesting.
Now let's take this time too. It's like in acceptance. It's like, and resentment and everything. It's like, we're going through major changes. Last week we talked about frequency shifting and
change cards.
Yeah, the butterfly cards. So we talked about shifting frequencies, and there's the getting sober, it's just all this chaos going on, and it's like it feels weird, it is weird, but stay with it, and so we can shift frequencies into this higher vibration. Globally, in the country, everything. That's what we're doing. So it's like, I'm excited about the, it's like I may not be excited about what's going on, and yeah, these things come up, and then here again, it's another time for opportunity for spiritual growth for me to look at my fears. What are my concerns? It's like I'm always reconnecting and having that dependence on my Creator. It's like it's way above this, And having that frequency shift and moving forward, we got to go through the chaos in order to get to the next frequency, the higher level. I'm really excited as we have this global coherence. We have this, people, on these sites, doing things together and individually doing, going out and coming together and going out into the world and being of service, being of light, and to be that voice that in the midst of chaos. It's like I love sound. Okay, I'm a sound guy, and the guy, I can't think of his name, but the story about the violin player on the Titanic. And the ship's going down. The ship's going down, and he gets his musicians together, and while it's in the process, he starts playing the violin to calm. And went down with the ship. Sorry, I didn't know that was going to happen, but
Yeah.
but being that still, quiet voice, taking that higher road, not being in the chaos, but to be a solid light in the midst of chaos.
Yes. Yes, and you can do it.
And I can do this because I've done a lot of work, and grown men do cry, and they whistle their
Yes,
angels, and
they
they take
do.
action. So.
Yeah, real men work with angels. Real men cry also. You got that? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for
Thank you,
sharing
Michael Virtue,
that,
too,
Doug.
for saying that.
Aw, I love you. Oh my goodness. So
But
that's
that
beautiful.
vulnerability, okay, from the guys,
From Macho.
from Macho, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like, I was afraid of that. I was so scared of that. It's like I didn't want you to see that in me. It's like you got to have the stuff and hold your mud, all that kind of stuff. And there was just all the,
What's that supposed to mean? Hold your butt. That sounds like,
But,
oh my goodness.
I mean, how many of us heard that? You want a reason to cry. All those old tapes and stuff. It's just, it's to be able to work through that and be able to laugh through it. And it's like, realistically, there were some things, growing up, and my parents, they did the best they could with the tools they had. And it's no blame whatsoever. It's like they didn't expect. I'll be 33 this month. They didn't expect.
33.
No, 33. Excuse me. 53.
I was like,
I'm
53. I'm glad you have your stuff to be grounded.
My memory must be the.
Oh, that's great. That's
So-
great. I was like,
So.
33. We just did a rewind. I would have just met you.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Right?
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
I totally get it.
Oh, I love it. So speaking of change and the beautiful things with acceptance and all of that beautiful stuff, I've got these beautiful change cards, the butterfly change cards by Doreen Virtue. Absolutely love them. And so I'll pull a card for that, for what we're doing right now with the full moon, with all the stuff that's coming up with the beautiful new year. So let's just kind of see what. Volunteer. Okay, so we've got that right there. See, so that's with what I'm tuning in with. That is volunteer, and that's a light your candle, share and volunteer, open the doors for people. Just be a light wherever you are. Go volunteer and give back to the community and bloom where you're planted with this. I love this one beautiful story. It's that beautiful story of this beautiful fish with all of these sparkly fins on it, and it's actually a child's book. I would like to remember the name and give due credit to it, but it's this beautiful story of this beautiful sparkly fish that goes around swimming in the ocean, and it's all glittery, and the rainbow fish. Yeah. That's it, and everybody just kind of admires the fish, and it's kind of like, thank you, but it wonders why no one's really, it's lonely. It's feeling so lonely inside because no one's really like going up to it and being friends with it. Well, all of the other fish have these colors that are muted and just kind of blend, and this rainbow fish is just filled with this beautiful sparkle light. And so what this one rainbow fish started doing was plucking off those scales and giving them to the friends And then pretty soon everyone else had one too. So it's kind of like reminds me of where the rooms where I hang out at and where Doug hangs out is to keep it, you got to give it away. For fun and for free.
Yeah.
Not just thinking and keeping score. This isn't what's happening here. The angels are saying it's for fun and for free. Be that candle, be that light, and don't think about how much something cost. Don't think about of doing, of gaining something or getting back something. Really, with a servant's heart, be genuine with it in that giving. And then that rainbow fish lived happily ever after in the deep blue sea after it had one beautiful rainbow fin and shared it with all of its buddies from the ocean. Raziel likes that story too.
He likes fish. That's why.
No, we're not feeding you right now. Raziel's really liking these videos. And so...
Yeah, if you check out some of our latest videos, he's like, comes and wants to be in like all of them.
So Christy says, good morning and thank you for well wishes. Surgery went well. I'm walking and I am looking forward to starting my life over and learning yoga. Christy, that is so awesome. And so restorative yoga, gentle, just really be easy with yourself on that and you will...
Try the Yoga Nidra. I mean, you can do that now.
Yes.
It's more of a meditation where you're not actually moving, but Bridget does the Yoga Nidras. We have one downloadable on the website, but you can just lay there, but it's walking. She walks you through. Well, you can tell about it.
Well, what it is it's a body scan, and it is actually you're tuning into your body, which when we're running around, we're disconnected from our body usually if we're not grounded. And so doing this, we become restored again by relaxing, you hold tension, and then you relax. And so pretty soon you get so in tune with your body literally from your thumb all the way through your whole body, from even intestines, your heart, your lungs, your eyes, and everything that you can feel. Then when you're out of sorts, even standing in line at a grocery store, and if you feel like you're tensed up, you go, whew. So it kind of tunes you in. So it's actually equivalent to 3 hours of sleep, which is phenomenal. So it's great for PTSD, with sleep apnea, with all medical issues, Lyme's disease, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, for anything with veterans. And so it's actually my very favorite yoga class that I teach. I love it, and I'm just so blessed to be able to offer that to our community. And so it would be very good with healing through surgery and also prior to.
And just all the time, it's like Razzie likes it too.
Actually does.
Yeah, he does. But it's interesting because I'll be in class and laying on the mat in Shavasana, and when it's funny because I'll hold stuff in my shoulders, and which most people you hold in your shoulders like this. It's like in sound healing we call it high strung. You're high strung. And so you relax, and then or you hold it in the belly, and she'll be doing the class, and she bring awareness to your shoulders and relax your shoulders, and all of a sudden it's like dink, my shoulders just relax, and I thought I was relaxed. So it's once you're bringing that intention and that attention to those parts of the body, to let them relax and let the energy flow where it needs to go. So especially when you're in recouping, and I was it was hard for me to move, and so it's a great tool.
Yes, my teacher Mark Halpern is from the College of Ayurveda in Nevada City, and he was wheelchair bound. He was actually a doctor and studying Ayurveda, and I'm just so honored to be able to be one of his students. And he no longer is in a wheelchair. He has the first College of Ayurveda that came out to the States, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I highly encourage it. And so let's see if there's any more questions. Hi to Jelena. And Andrea, we're only as old as we feel. Yes, indeed, that's so funny. Oh, and Vanessa Any chance I could get a card, thank you, I would be so grateful. Doug, how about since I pulled the change butterfly deck, that it's your turn?
So I went to the Archangel Gabriel.
Ooh, I love that. Actually, what deck don't I love by Doreen Radley, Robert Grant, and Charles and Melissa?
Oops.
And Robert Reeves with his flower deck.
Yes. Okay. Classes.
Oh.
Learning and teaching are part of your higher calling. So, this is a great card because classes, it's like, life purpose. And like we're talking about being that light into the communities. And classes, one, I see, of course, teaching them. And sometimes, here again, taking the actions in that direction, like when I started doing the sound healing, I was scared, I was nervous, terrified, all that stuff, and cancel, clear, delete, and I just took the actions to put it to do it, and you'll take more classes, you'll teach more classes, you'll take more classes. It's like you don't have to have this idea that everything has to be perfect right here, right now. So just take the actions and move in that direction. Like with our Facebook Lives, where I think I brought the camera in a little closer. You'll fine tune it. Have fun with doing it. But I see you, being that light in our communities and teaching classes. I'm picking up more so teaching. You have this wealth of information, this wealth of knowledge, and for you to get out there and to continue to share it. And more will be revealed, and you'll take more classes.
Thank you, Doug. Awesome. And so Amanda...
A lot of sacred geometry.
Oh, that's beautiful. So needed. So needed sacred geometry.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And our next question here is from Amanda Magnolia Bradley Brown. Hello. So her question is, my son Kip is having stomach issues. Do you see anything? Can you give me some clarity regarding that? Okay, so first off, we're not medical doctors. And then knowing that, what I'm tuning into is your son is learning how to step in his power. And I'm also seeing a little bit of digestive food sensitivities. So ironically, it's tied in because the stepping into his power and the food allergies are coding the clarity of him truly stepping into that. So I would take a look at I'm seeing some allergic type of things in that, and I would like to pull a card. He's going to be okay, but I'm just seeing kind of like a non-responsive thing in the digestive system. So let's get that moving. Fluid, fire up that digestive system. Yeah, fire it up.
No cold drinks or anything.
Yeah, firing it up.
Yeah, not medical doctors. More intuitive.
Yes, and let's more pull. He's stepping in his power.
There's another question on there too. I don't know.
Okay, in it with Kip with that, as you step even more so into your power, it is going to be allowing him to do the same thing. So you're the front runner in this, and then it is allowing him and embracing him to be able to do the same thing. It's cocooning. So it's awesome. You two are kind of working on this together, and so he's going to be helping you step into it even more so by you learning how to help him. You two are going to be helping each other, though, in a balanced, in a clear, healthy way. So let's pull a card also for it. Oh my goodness. See, so here you go, darling. It's up to you. So you can do it, and you are the first one that's going to blaze the trail with that. And this beautiful angel, this is a golden opportunity. So remove the fear from this, and the angel's going like this, like it's up to you. So love you so much, and I'm thankful to be able to pull a card for you and Kip. Okay, so we have somebody that's been sober since last June, and that is, I want to give kudos. That was for Michelle. Yay, Michelle! Congratulations on that. So happy. Woo, woo, woo! Yeah. Sobriety rocks. Okay, and then...
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yes, and then Jelena is going vegan, and it is a bit hard and very happy. At the same time, I have stopped smoking. Good for you, Jelena. Big kudos to you. On that, I practice an Ayurvedic lifestyle, so does Doug. And with that, our teacher, Karen Collins, says if you could practice even just midstream, you're making a difference with that. So good job. And also Durga Lee has said the same thing, right, with the Ayurvedic lifestyle?
Yeah. It's because it's just like anything. You get this information, it can be very overwhelming. It's like when we were first getting taught, 10 days of, learning
immersion.
All that stuff. And at the end, I love Durga when she said that at the end, she says, now, she said that. You've learned a lot. Now if you can go home and you take just one thing and implement it into your life, you're doing good. And of course, you're taking that step into doing those. Of course, you add things. And it was a good way of that, giving you permission to take action in that direction. Because sometimes, like me, it's like I'll get overwhelmed with something. It's like, and they get that procrastinate. Where do I start? It's like, where do I start? It's like that thing, I think you mentioned it before. How do you move a mountain? One stone at a time, and it's, progress, not perfection.
Yes.
Be gentle with yourself.
Yeah, Jelena, that is so awesome. I'm so happy, and your angels are even coming in saying, that you will get more clarity, more vividness, more sharpness, and it will start to clear a lot of fog, and so your divine connection is really growing. If our cat Raziel runs by with one of his toys, he really loves you guys. So he's a little ham bone. Don't know where that cat gets that from, but he's so cute. So if you see some kind of a little...
Sometimes he throws them in the air.
Yeah, so you see a kitty fly it, you know that that's what's happening. And Clancy would like a card. Would you like to pull one for Clancy,
sure.
Love?
Oops, hey, we got a jumper.
That's it. The jumper it is.
Open your heart to love in Jesus. This card came up before. And and I'm getting on the open your heart to love, it's getting out in nature. Of course, there's a lot of nature, and it's that, like the prayer of St. Francis. Sometimes it's taking that magnifying, looking inward, and it's like being open. That vulnerability I was talking about. That vulnerability. Accepting others as they are, and just letting things be. Speaking your truth, of course, with love, but also, allowing the love to come in. It's like. Being receptive. I know that for me, one of the things was when I was really sick with the Lyme disease, when I was flat out on my back basically for 3 years, and people were helping my family, and receiving was one of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn and keep learning. And so I'm getting that, open your heart to love, and it's like. Sometimes it's right there. We do these vision boards, and I did this vision board one year, and I had a picture of this nice scenery of trees and everything out of a window, and I'm laying there looking at it. We had it in our bedroom on the wall, and we'd wake up in the morning and look at it, and I was looking at the picture, and I'm looking out our window, I'm looking at the picture, I'm looking out the window. It's like, oh my gosh, I've already got this view. I can't see the forest through the trees. It's like, open your heart to love. There's something right there close to you, and just, Love is the answer, right now especially. But getting out in nature, taking care of yourself, speaking your truth, taking that time for meditation, all of those things, the things.
And I love this on this card right here, and I don't know if there's a little lamb that Jesus is holding, and I've never noticed the butterfly on it, and it's so beautiful. I've never noticed that tiny little butterfly, and so it's a let love lead the way. And so it's of practicing the essence of the principles of what Jesus was really teaching in the pure essence, not that which was of man-made, but in the true beingness and holiness and completeness of what it truly, the essence of it. Look at that.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So that's a great card for you.
And it's also the lion and the lamb, and it's to have that strength of the lion and the vulnerability of the lamb. It's like we don't have to bulldoze, don't have to do that. It's like to thine own self be true. So.
And Lashish wants a card. Her question is there any? I already had seen it through here. Something about, is there any change with employment? As I tune in with that, I'm getting a yes. You're at this phase, and it's great. It's at this, I see this transition of you going inward and really asking, what is it that's my true heart's desire? I'm kind of seeing the angels are showing same old, same old. It's kind of like not a rut, but it's you're ready for something refreshing and new.
That was the same card, wasn't it? I think I pulled it for her last time.
Oh, so
that's what I thought.
So it's really beautiful. So really, the sky is the limit, and it's all good. We're in this together. The sky is the limit, and knowing that you create your reality. So whatever is truly on your heart's desire, your angels are asking if your hands weren't tied behind your back and you felt completely secure in that knowingness to take those next steps to move forward, what would really truly make your heart sing? Ask yourself that, and your answer will come to you. And knowing that, I'm going to pull a card on you, for you. Oh, see that? And so if you believe and you have that faith and trust that your Creator is in control, knowing that the sky's the limit, and that's where that true faith and trust exists, on that jumping off place of that edge, of do it, and then your angels are going to give you wings to fly in this new adventure. They're calling it a new adventure. So don't put the brakes on it. Go full force and just trust and take each step every single day of knowing and going into that direction. It's kind of like this beautiful thing is, I've done hair for a long time. I love doing hair, absolutely love it. And I've also always been a writer. I've written since, oh my goodness, I can't even remember. I knew when I was 13 I was going to write a book. I used to rip out pages out of a magazine, and I was going to write this beauty book on beauty tips. And then what happened quite a few years ago, I wrote a book, a kid's book, and I'm like, I've just got to write this book. I've got to write this book. And I knew that it was on my heart's desires and that this kid's book needed to come out. So I wrote the book, and then I made a Facebook page, Bridget Parvin Author, that I've had for quite a long time. And so I went to the Hay House Writers Workshop and did all of this stuff, and just had the opportunity to miracle. I got a contract with Doreen Virtue with Hay House from Reed Tracy, and I'm just so it's a miracle. I took the steps to go in that direction, and this stuff has happened. That book is soon to be released. It's called How to Get Your Life Back by Hay House, and it's just from believing and going. I've never wrote before, and the truth is I've written all my life, and then come to find out my biological father was a writer, and he would always write and submit stories to the places. And so I know I've got my biological father riding with me every step of the way, along with my angels. And that
story in the other literature.
Oh, in Al-Anon literature.
Yes. Whatever.
I finally,
articles is in there.
yes, it was, I have an article in there. I found myself and grew up in the rooms. Yeah. It's actually, it was
a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, but it's a pretty rockin' story. I must say, because it was my journey that, and I'm giving all glory to God and the angels with it in the story. We
all have rocking stories, and you need to rock your story. And that's where the unity, it's like being that vulnerability. And
yes.
You know, it took men talking about stuff for me that men don't talk about to allow me to start to let those walls down. So, so there was another... Yes,
there's Deborah Crabtree. If you have time, I would like a card. So your turn, love.
Drawn to the Archangel Gabriel.
Nice. It's good for the New Year's.
Gabriel.
Oh.
So I have helping children. Part of your life purpose involves teaching, guiding, and helping young people. And here's so helping children. And of course, pretty self-explanatory. I see you helping children. But I also see by helping children, some of this is you get to heal some of your past. By helping the children, we get to heal some of our past. You know, if we've had things in our past. Some of us had, you know, very kind, loving, encouraging families. Some of us didn't. And by on either side, either case, you can go back in there, and there's, you know, situations that, you know, we can help guide these younger people through. And I see you doing that. In working and encouraging the younger people to be able to, you know, not work through as much stuff as we have to work through. We all get to work through stuff, so that's not. But yeah, working with the younger children. I'm seeing more so the teenage kind of years.
Awesome. So now we have Amanda asking for her friend and Reiki client Miles, who is having a liver transplant today, and pulling a card. So that's why I went and got the Archangel Raphael card. So I'm going to ask for permission with Miles' higher self, and the answer is yes. And I would also like to encourage all of us who are here today joining and who watch afterwards, let's hold Miles in the light. And also I'm going to ask on behalf of Miles to ask for Archangel Raphael to blanket him with emerald green light from head to toes, penetrating through his cells, tissues, bodies, and organs before the anesthesia, and just bringing in the light. And have that prayer be for 24 hours. And I encourage you all to join me in that. And also pulling a card for Miles. Amanda, that's very loving and sweet of you. What a good friend. I know I'm blessed to have you as a friend too. What a golden heart. Okay, so for Miles with the liver transplant. Okay, so it's listen to your intuitive feelings. Dear higher self, thank you for speaking loudly and clearly in peaceful ways that I easily understand. Archangel Raphael, thank you for guiding me to listen to my inner wisdom. So what I'm picking up for this with Miles is for him with those feelings not to hold them in and bottle them up, to cleanse that out by cathartically writing and journaling. Just unleashing, getting that out. I'm also seeing him playing some kind of an instrument just to release, something with releasing, painting, a flute, without any judgment, just to, he needs some outlet just to release some of the things that have been stored in. And also Archangel Raphael will assist with transmuting any of the things that are being held within. And just, this is a path of wellness for him, and all is in divine order, and he's got what it takes definitely to ride and right through this. So he's in that process right now, a beautiful space, and he's lucky and blessed to have you doing Reiki on him. And let's just send him lots and lots of love. Let's just blanket him in love. So thank you. And it looked like earlier Trish had a question. Nothing general, but she was going to have to. Oh, Brenda, thank you for your love. I see a deck by you too. A card deck. I would love that. OMG. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Barbara. Lots and lots of love. And so, oh, Vanessa, prayers for my friend Janet. She is sick with Lyme disease. Thank you.
Yeah.
Girl, you've got it.
Thank you for supporting her.
Yes.
For supporting Janet.
Yes, my beloved Doug right here. He is in remission from Lyme disease from 2003. Was diagnosed, and we were newlyweds. We're still newlyweds, by the way.
Yes, we're still on our honeymoon.
Still on our honeymoon.
We're still having fun.
People, it's funny when we go and the kids are like the millennials. They're like going, "Oh my gosh, are you guys newlyweds?" We're like, "Yes, we yes."
Go to Hawaii. They asked us, "Are we on our honeymoon?" It's like, "Yeah, actually."
Always,
when did you
always.
Back in '98.
No, even Hawaii are not even going to the health food store here in town.
Yeah,
they're like, "Thank you for coming in." So, speaking of that though, Vanessa, back to with the Lyme disease. If your friend needs to get a hold of us, please give her our email. Doug, will you give your email?
Yeah, you can get me at Doug@Bridget'sSerenityStudio.com.
Okay, yes.
And I'll put it on here as well. But there's a great support online. But just lots of prayers for. It's a process. I mean, honestly, and this is of course years of work and years of processing through the Lyme disease. Because I mean, here I just gotten sober. Everything's going good. Just gotten married. I was on top of the world. My life's going great. Why?
Doing construction.
Why,
Put that mud thing or whatever.
Holding your mud.
Holding your
mud.
Holding your mud.
I wasn't dead. I got sober before that. But
it's interesting.
But it's keeping that. Keeping prayer with that. And,
yes.
And in hindsight, like she was saying, I was doing construction. I wouldn't be sitting here with Bridget, with you guys today, if I hadn't had divine intervention to get me on another path. And sometimes I'm the guy that needs a little knock on the head to move in that direction.
Yes, so we will definitely, let's all of us right now hold prayers for Janet and send
in that process,
in that healing, and ask for Archangel Raphael and the beautiful beloved Jesus with golden white light and Jophiel
to see the beauty in it.
To see the beauty and everything, and so it is. And be with Janet. And thank you for asking for prayer with her, and those will continue. I will be back on this page, and those prayers will continue for all. Yes, if Doug didn't have the Lyme disease, he'd still be holding his mud.
Be careful what you pray for. That's why I swinging a hammer. I used to say I didn't want to swing a hammer past 30 or past 40, and at 39, I was bit by a tick and got the Lyme disease. So that's not what I meant. I meant to be doing.
Yes, and Becky Lem is in need of light to find my way. You got it, girl. Sending angels your way. A host of angels, 1,000 angels going your way. Thank you for being here with us. And then Trish had to run. She had to go to a meeting at the coffee club. So, but she does not have a question, but would like a card pulled for her. So we will do that in honor of because she had to get to the noon meeting at the coffee club. So I'm going to grab messages from your angels for Trish. And we got it here. Archangel Gabriel. Wow.
She's
Archangel Gabriel. You have an important life purpose involving communication and arts. Please don't allow insecurities to hold you back. I will help. Their Archangel Gabriel is with the golden, beautiful light. So you know what to do, she is saying. And so go forth and you can do it every single time that you move in that direction. That confidence level will be built up, and that confidence level in a very humble, serving way of knowing that you are protected by your divine team and you are doing it on behalf with humanity of doing that, and just get those things in alignment. So remember, the greater the fear and the bigger the fear, the bigger and greater the life purpose is. So all of these great things don't happen overnight. It's just going and moving in that direction, and that's what you're being called to do. And part of that is an extension, part of that is Hawaii. So get that energy flowing and get some movement going in that direction. Doug, do you have anything to add?
And ask for Archangel Gabriel to work with you. You know, it's like the angels are very they're I like to say it's like they're gentlemen, gentlewomen. It's like they want to help you, and there's the thing I like. It's like people I never got this, but I hear people ask me several times. They'll ask me, you know, they don't want to call upon Archangel Michael or Archangel Gabriel because they don't want to, you know, pull them away from something that's important. And it's like the best way for me to relate that is to our GPS on our phones. I mean, if I'm using my GPS, then that means Bridget can't use hers. It's like, that's not true. Each of us, we have these little chips inside of us. Phones have little chips, and then there's the greater whole. And it's like they're omnipresent. It's like they're everywhere. God is the omnipresence, but they're the messengers for God. But we can all, you know, it's like everybody's using their GPS, and everybody's getting to where they need to go. It's like the angels are the same kind of. It's very simplified, but true. It's like you can call them. They can help Bridget. They can help me. They can help you. It's like you're not interfering. You're not interrupting. You're not pulling them from something that they. You know. It's like, you know, call, ask for help.
Perfect. That's beautiful. And Becky Lamb, hello. I am looking for a job. Can I have a card? Absolutely. Thank you for being here with us today, Becky, and thank you for all of our other friends being here too. Okay, so this is really beautiful. Aurora from Messages from your Angels deck comes up. You are flying high right now, which may threaten others, but don't descend because others will soon become inspired by your example. So your angels are asking you right now not to shrink yourself. Not to shrink yourself in order to have other people be comfortable around you. So open up those wings, spread them, and take flight, and go. The sky's the limit. And in that, with the looking for the job, make sure that it's in alignment with what your true heart's desires are. Nothing that's lateral with what you've been doing. Don't grab onto something safe. Make sure it is something that's going to lead you in building blocks and foundation and the structure of what your aim is. Okay, so you're in this pocket right now of manifesting and just developing, creating, and just go for it. Go for it. How are we doing on time, love?
12:04.
Okay, can Jelena get a question real quick? Can I pull a card for all soulmates and twin flames for 2017? Will you?
You have that.
Okay, so I'll go like this, and then we'll have to wind up. It's so much fun doing this with you guys. I can't believe how quick time flies.
Where's the all soulmates and twin flames? So I got very soon. clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So there you go. And here again, I think I touched on it a little bit, is be that you want. You know, it's like if you want kind, loving, warm, supportive person in your life, be a kind, loving, warm, supporting person. It's like you know, putting that out there, and it says, you know, very soon, so sooner more than later. And the thing is, it's like when Bridget and I met, we were working internally on ourselves. We weren't actually looking for a relationship. And I know for me, when it was like, I mean, literally had the conversation with God was, you know, okay, God, it's me and you. Oh, I'm good. We're good. You know, this is yours. And I think Bridget had a similar conversation, and then things started happening, groups and people set us up, and the rest is history. Thank you, God.
Yes.
But yeah, flames burn brighter together.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So that's it for this week, and you can still post things on Come Back and Visit, and we will be back same place, same time, Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, yes, with Sobriety and Serenity. And we thank you guys for your love and support.
Thank you guys for supporting us.
Yes, and any topics that you want us to do, let us know. You could find us during the week on the Facebook page, How to Get Your Life Back, and also of Sober Lightworkers, or on Instagram under Bridget Parvin, under there. BRIGITTE. I was going to say BridgetParvin.com, but that's our website.
.com.
So,
more will be revealed.
yes, stick together, find your tribe, and we're all in this together. None of us ahead or behind. We're all walking this journey shoulder to shoulder, and we love you guys. So that's it for this week. Oh, even Raziel just walked through the backside. And so we will close this week. Doug, would you like to close?
Yeah, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Oh.